Hola Grizzlies! It's Friday and we're in red, and that's because we're off to Portugal tonight. Porto, Portugal, known as the sandwich of Europe, or not. The Lone Wolf is joined by two friends to enjoy sun, rivers, coffee, local cuisine, sandwiches, where it gets its name from, culture, blue tiles, bookstores, port wine, party boats, party buses, impromptu karaoke, cheap food, shopping, football, and more sun. I'm off to Porto. I have been to Portugal before, not Porto. Been to Faro in the south and Lagos, and then skipped across the border to Sevilla, Spain for a festival. And on that trip got adopted as the 13th hen on a hen party, the bride-to-be of a very famous British footballer. That's another story that we can get into. So this was a last-minute trip with two of my friends, Nikki and Shoppy. We've been friends for 25 years. Our most recent trip, we went to Marbella for the half Ironman a couple of years ago. Another recent trip was we all went to New York for the joint 40th, which they ended up in New Jersey. Yeah, not the most safe pair to go traveling with, but always a good laugh and always eventful. It's a last minute trip as sorts. Booked it probably 10 days, 2 weeks ago. The original destination was we were going to do Mount Etna, Sicily. Well, we didn't pick Porto because we've had a burning desire to go there, or there's something we definitely need to do. We just had a look at flights, which were reasonable, and we found flights from Bristol, which is about an hour and a half from Swansea, to Porto for £40 return each. We then found accommodation in Porto. I mean, it's out of season, it's January, for £60 each for 3 nights. So for £100, we've got 3 nights trip away in Porto. In January, it's a miserable year. It's not going to be boiling hot out there, but it's going to be a little bit warmer than it is in South Wales, which isn't hard at the minute. Yeah, so the 3 of us are going to be taking off there tonight.
Hello, Grizzlies. My name is Whisky Wolf. I served 17 years as an elite Royal Marines commando. I'm a best-selling author of 4 books. I've led men into war 4 times, jumped out of planes, escaped a kidnapped attempt in Iraq, and got all sports shorts banned from the DVLA. I'm a survival expert in the Arctic, jungle, and desert. I've travelled the world lone wolf, lived homeless in the UK, and the notorious migrant camp in Calais, France. I then crossed the English Channel in a 9-foot dinghy, unsupported, undetected, at night. I am founder and pioneer of Tramp Face, Salute Charity, and my small business that I dragged through the disaster of COVID. My wolf pack is made up of my half Welsh, half American daughter, my Hungarian Vizsla puppy, and our friends, the Grizzlies. That's you. Together, we are gonna wolf the world. Because
you're gonna be a bear, you may as well be a grizzly.
This is the first travel video of the Wolf the World series. This isn't going to be the theme of the ones to come, where it's me going away with a couple of the guys, but there is going to be other people involved, especially my daughter Em, living in the USA, but she's going to be joining me on quite a few of the trips. Also my dog, Copper, you've met him already, the Vizsla. Both of them are going to be joining me on some campervan trips around the UK, maybe a little venture into France and continental Europe, but also then Em's going to be joining me on some flights to continental Europe and USA as well. No real bucket list as such that we're going to be ticking off when we get to Porto, and I'm not a big fan of them in general. Previous trips I've done, rather than having a list of things, this is my view on it, of say 10 things, right? These are 10 things I need to do. For some reason you don't get to do some of them, or some of them turn out to be a bit of a letdown. You're then left with this list of could have beens, weren't very good of beans, puts a bit of dampener on it. I prefer to have just a rough plan of where I'd like to go, and then just tick things off as you go in. Instead of having a list of things that you didn't do, you just have a whole new list of things that you did do and you weren't even thinking of doing. I went whale watching off Patagonia, which wasn't on any sort of list. But when I got there, I had the opportunity and I went. And that's the way I like to do it. So when I went to South America, yeah, I had a rough plan. I flew into Rio and my plan was to fly out of Ecuador 8 weeks later, but it wasn't as simple as that. I had a rough route of where I wanted to go. Show on the map, actually. Follow it around, and they had some things that I did want to go. I wanted to go to Welsh Patagonia, I wanted to go to Machu Picchu. So there's a few things I wanted to tick off. I ended up doing like this Bolivian salt flats, which weren't on the original list. And then working out as you go on, I find that's a lot more adventurous. This one isn't as adventurous as South America. Down in Porto, we've only got 3 days. We're going to try and make it a little bit alternative. We're going to try and make it active, so I'm going to try and get out on foot, hire bikes. What I like to do is when I get there is get Google Maps out, look at the lay of the land, right, and the topography, and try and identify some high features, okay, some open areas, some nice spots by the river or by the coast. Plan my route, my day around, just going along to there and seeing what's in the area. Is there a nice viewpoint? Is there a nice cafe to go visit? And working it out like that as I go along. Find that a lot more interesting, exciting, and adventurous. Phrases. I haven't really done any background on this. I'm quite good on Spanish. I learned it quite in depth before going to South America a few years ago and trips to Spain. Portuguese, I'm not too good on. Of course, I've been to Brazil before and I've been to Portugal before, so I've been exposed to it. But I've been a bit lazy and not really taking the time to get into it, which is catching me out now because not only am I going to Portugal this weekend, I'm off to Brazil next week as well for 2 weeks. So I would have definitely benefited with investing a bit more time in Portuguese. But it is what it is. Lastminute.com, the lone wolf. A lot of people say, it's the same as Spanish, and it isn't. There are some similarities between the two that do cross over, but there are a lot of differences as well. Some things which you can take over, hola, como está, how are you? And then going into your greetings is a little bit different. Bom dia is good morning in Portuguese, whereas you'd say buenos dias in Spanish. Thank you is different, definitely. You got gracias in Spanish and obrigado or obrigada in Portuguese, depending if it's masculine or feminine, which always makes me ponder how do they get around all the politically correct movements that we got now with the masculine and feminine, where if you're a man, you say obrigado, if you're a woman, you say obrigada. So I'm wondering how do they fare on that? Is there a lot of turmoil in there and arguments of which if you use obrigada and you're male, is it wrong? Or you can say, oh no, because I'm gender fluid. I don't know. Maybe we'll ask someone when we get there. Stick that on my list of things to do. So I've had a quick look at my phone. I've got a couple of phrases, but like anything, I'll get there, speak to people. A lot of people will speak English. That's all part of the experience then, isn't it? I can ask them the phrases and learn it as we go. Before I go away to places, I do like to do a little bit of history. I do like reading into things about the history of them and interesting facts. One of my books, Tramp Face Hitchhike, my third book is when we hitchhike around the UK, each place to get to, I give a little description about the history of the area or any quirks about the area and any sort of interesting, funny facts about it as well. Famous people who come from there. And also where the name comes from. And there's some good, interesting ones out there. There's one in Czechoslovakia where I can't pronounce the actual name, but it means the F word in English. How they came across that, I don't know. I decided on it. Place in the USA called Santa Claus, which got an interesting story. It was Santa Fe, but because there was another post office called Santa Fe, they changed it to Santa Claus, as you do. Porto doesn't quite have that. It's got a port, so it's called Port in Portuguese. And that's about as interesting as it gets. Unlike other places, I've been in South America, Rio de Janeiro, called the January River, because the Portuguese explorers, when they first went there, they landed on the 1st of January, and they thought that the bay in Rio, the harbour, as beautiful as it is, they thought it was the mouth of a river. So January River. My hometown, Swansea. A lot of people might think it's quite straightforward. Swan, sea. We're by the sea. We do have swans here. Other versions are it's from the Viking invaders, and they had a king called Sweyn. I is island in Norse. So Sweyn's Eye, King's Island. The Welsh is Abertawe. I had a funny experience with this a few years back. One of my best friends from Newcastle, based down here with me in the Marines, and he was like, why these signs, why is like Swansea got another name underneath it? I said, well, it's Welsh. Does Abertawe mean Swansea? I said, no. It means the place Swansea, but it doesn't translate as Swansea. He said, well, what does it mean? I said, well, it means a settlement at the mouth of the River Tawe. And he was like, Abertawe means all of that, a settlement at the mouth of the River Tawe. I went, yeah, Aber, settlement at the mouth of, Tawe is the river. He wasn't having it. But we haven't got any of that in Porto. It's named after a port. And I think actually Portugal is named after Porto as well. Portugal. Wolf the World isn't just going to be travel stuff. It's going to be a multitude of different things from my life. The travel ones, though, I'm going to try not make it like all the travel videos that I've seen out there. I do watch a lot of them, and they're great for what they are. Very informative, beautiful, sort of cinematic filming and editing and things like that. Maybe one day I'll get up to that level, but we're going to keep it basic. Not like basic as in it's bad to look at, but not focusing so much on that. Just focus about the actual experience rather than all the cinematography. The way you present it as well is, watch a lot of these and they all tend to be the same, middle of the road, quite flaky, sort of overly emphasizing on the fluffy and happy. And it's, yeah, they go on a walking tour, they pan across beautiful scenery, they go to the coffee shop everyone goes to, they go to the food market that everyone goes to, they go to the cathedral that everyone goes to. So they can be a bit samey, and except I'm not putting them down, they're fantastic. I watch them as well. They do follow the same theme. So we want to be a little bit different. And plus, I don't want to be going out making videos, which is unnatural to me. Just want to go and do what I do when I'm traveling and film it. And it'll be a lot more natural. It'll be a lot more interesting for me, rather than me going, oh, I've got to go and do this scenic shot, or I've got to go to this cathedral. And I think a lot of people get bullied in when it comes to traveling. It's like, oh, you're going to so-and-so, or you've got to go and see the cathedral. Now, if you're not into cathedrals, you feel like, oh, well, because if I get back down, so did you go to the cathedral? No. Oh my God, I can't believe you went there and didn't go to the cathedral. And I'm not some sort of Philistine that just hates cathedrals or whatever. There's certain, when you go to certain places, you got to go and see certain things. Go to Rome, you got to at least go and look at the Colosseum from the outside at least. I don't like to get corralled into, you've got to go and see this, you got to go and do that. Some things we will go and look at the outside. Doesn't mean I'm going to spend an hour and a half walking around a cathedral. Right? I'd rather be out on a bike, going to find other little places that off the beaten track that you wouldn't normally see. Case in point, when I did go to Rome, I did go to look at the Colosseum from the outside, covered in scaffolding, brilliant. And Vatican City, you got to go to the Vatican City. Come back, did you go to the Vatican? No. What? I saw it from the outside. I sat in a cafe, had a pizza and a pint, and looked at the half-mile long queue trying to get in there and thought, not for me. I'm not Catholic. I got absolutely no interest or allegiance in the Pope or much of its history, to be honest with you. Over touristy, cliche. I just wasn't feeling it. That's what travellers should be about. Not getting forced into doing what everyone tells you to do. Just go and do what you want to do. That's the theme. That's the plan. So I'm going to be heading off soon. What time is it? It's 17 minutes past 4. Nikki's picking me up at 5, and I haven't even packed. And that is the God's honest truth. I can do a video of my packing in a sec. Because I live by the rule, apart from my main rule, if you're going to be a bear, may as well be a grizzly. Pack early, pack twice. Because when I was in the Marines, you'd have guys, we'd be going somewhere on a Friday exercise or moving to another camp, whatever. They'd start packing on the Monday. Come Thursday, guaranteed they'd be like, did I pack whatever? Have I packed this? Or they might need something they've packed on a Monday. They might need it on the Wednesday. They're back in the bags, digging around. Did I pack it? Oh yeah, there it is at the bottom. Now I've got to repack it all back in. I like to do it last minute because then I know it's last minute. Once I've put it in there, right, and going in an hour, not always like this in an hour, the night before. Once it's packed, I know it's packed. And then for my sanity then, it's good to go. And pressure, I love a bit of pressure. Like if you start packing early, you don't pack, you pack half-heartedly. You don't do it properly because you know you got another 4 days if you get, you mean, to sort of add bits to it, and you end up just packing all week. Whereas if it's last minute, you're like, well, I got to do it now because I'm leaving in an hour. So the pressure's on and it just forces you to do it. Nikki's picking me up. In fact, I'll show you that I am packed because there's going to be videos throughout this weekend of what I've packed, and this, my good old trusty Pusser's day sack backpack. This is what I'm taking, and it's empty. So yeah, off upstairs to pack that now. We'll see you in the car in the airport. 4:23. I'm not going to go into some in-depth ninja packing system, although I have packed quite a lot over the years, being in the Royal Marines and travelling a lot on my own. I will try and come up with my own little formula for this. As it goes, what I usually go for is at least one item per day of the activity I think I'm going to be doing. Soft cotton shirt, just one if you need it for sort of a casual night out. A couple of nice t-shirts, active wear tops, some trainer socks, a couple of pairs of shorts, underwear, vest, a few casual t-shirts, waterproof bags, toiletries, passport, an extension lead, and the adapter, electronics, which I'm going to get into on this one because I'm carrying a lot more now with doing the video. Cut this short because I'm running out of time and I need to get packed. Bring up your bag, 7 kilograms. Thank you! Love you! Hola, benvido Porto. How's the boys like? Scared, camera shy. So we just got the airport, obviously, in Porto. I would normally now, if I was low wolfing it, explore, work out the bus / transit / tube / train system, get where we're going, but pretty late. Boys had a couple of divas, so therefore we're probably going to get, well, we are going to get a taxi and take it from there. Here we go, look. Started already. We're in the apartment, but we're not, because we don't know the code. Here we are. Pretty nice, lads. This is sweet. 65 quid laughing at. 60 quid. You're laughing as if like I've staged that walking in front of a camera and it's not natural.
It's nice, lads.
Yeah.
Good.
65 quid, 3 nights each.
Big bedroom.
Can't go wrong. Made it in one piece. Apartment's looking pretty sweet. Got room to ourselves, each double beds, nice, clean, modern. So good job, Shoppy. £65 each for 3 nights. Shoppy's looking for an iron. Nikki's on the phone to the missus, and I'm considering a nap. So it's all rock and roll, yeah. Probably gonna go for a wander, get something to eat, and then get our heads down ready for tomorrow. Taxi driver was full of advice, usual stuff, museum, bridges, restaurants, cathedral. There's a bookstore here. There was rumours it inspired J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter. She dispelled that rumour. However, it is fantastic, magnificent bookstore, which I'm going to have to go and see considering full-time author. Apart from that, the other thing Shoppy heard was the bars closed at about 4 a.m. Forecast rain, hammering down rain all weekend. Taxi driver was warning us off, so we told him we're from South Wales, good buddy. Wind, rain, cold is the norm to us. We just popped out to get some late night Portuguese cuisine. Nothing's open, all dead. So we've had to return back to the apartment with a banzai noodle and some Pringles.
Oh, is that top one, is it? No. Yeah.
We got ourselves out the apartment. The weather's looking pretty grim, cloudy, raining. Just want to get a bit of scran inside us, so we just walked down the main road. It's only taken us a couple of minutes. Found a little cafeteria, a lot of baked items in the window there. Those famous little custard tarts that you do around here. So we're going to get in, get some coffee. We're going to walk downtown, have a look at the cathedral, a few of the traditional tourist spots. And then we got a boat party later on. So breakfast of sorts. It's a bit cliche, it's a bit traditional, but it's got to be done. Portugal. It's the pastel de nata, I think I've pronounced that right. Custard tart in Old Bunny. Looks a bit burnt. It meant to be burnt.
They're nice though.
Shoppy's already had one.
I think I got two.
Couldn't wait. But it's got to be done. It's tradition. It's what everybody does. So we're going for it. But we found a small cafe off the beaten track. Not the norm. We're going to go for it. So let's give these bad boys a whirl, shall we? We're going to do the traditional TV thing now where they go,
They are stunning.
It's alright, it's nice.
No, they're
a little bit too sweet for me, but...
they're lovely. That's why I got two, you guys got one. Alright.
And coffee to wash it down. That's breakfast done. Despite my banter, it was actually delicious. It's hammering down now. Nice, happy days, used to that, being Welsh boys. And the price of breakfast was €16.80 for, 6 coffees, 2 sandwiches, and 4 of those little custard tart things. So €16.80 was about 14-15 quid.
Thank you, Nicky, for treating us.
Cheers, Nicky. Here we are, guys. Porto Cathedral, built in the 12th century originally. Roman Catholic cathedral. It's got a nice little panoramic from here as well. Scan around, get a nice little view of the city. We're not going to go in. We've had a nice little walk down from the apartment. It took about 20 minutes because we're not staying in the centre of Porto. It's been quite nice, so we had a little walk, stopped off for a little local cafe, and then just walked down talking rubbish, get a little bit wet, and tick off the cathedral. Yeah, so we're just going to move on to probably the river next. This is classic for me, just like the time where I turned up at the Colosseum and they had scaffolding all over it. We come to the famous bookstore in Porto. I've written 4 books, so I'm an author. It's not like some sort of mecca. I didn't need to go and see a bookstore just because I've written books, but I have seen the videos and photos of it. It is magnificent inside. And yeah, we've turned up here and there's some sort of protest going on outside, so I can't go in. Not sure exactly what it's about. It's calling for some kind of improvement in culture. We're talking English, so I don't know what that's all about. Yeah, so the bottom line is, can't go in. So maybe try again later or tomorrow. So every cloud, guys, the library's closed, can't get in there. Was considering just barging up and going, LG West, 4-time author. I think I get away with it. But as we were just about to turn and walk away, we spotted something else we can go and see. The description of it from Shopee was something with blue tiles on it, and there's a thing behind us with blue tiles on it. Blue tiles. Happy, Shopee?
I landed now. It's not the one, but it's
All right.
tick the box. I thought, speak the name.
Yeah, we'll Photoshop it, mate. We'll make it the one. You work in IT, Nicky, don't you? Nicky,
Yes,
you
yes,
Photoshop that to look like the other blue tile place?
Not a problem.
Solid. Shopee, what you going for, mate?
Big banana.
Big banana, savage.
Plantecilla, patatas y cerveza.
Looks good. Thank you.
We found somewhere to shelter from the rain. It's been a bit of a washout, it's an understatement. It's hammering down, we're all drenched. So we stopped off now. It's happy hour, so it was a good sign. Shoppy's on the beer, me and Nicky are on the juice. And we're going to go for the famous egg sandwich, is what I'm going to call it. And shelter here for a bit, we've got heaters on. And let's see how we get on. As like every good tourist, you got to go for the standard. We have plumped for the Francesinha, I think it's pronounced, which as far as I can make out is toast, meat, cheese, egg, and some kind of spicy gravy sauce. I'm on the caipirinha cocktails. Not really, it's lemonade. Yeah, nice little cafe in some little back street, just not far from the river.
Is it egg on it?
Bit disconcerting. When we walked in, they were playing music similar to the opening scene of Black Hawk Down, but settled now to a bit of European, chilled out techno. Yeah, and some Fritz, standard. And we're going to get tucked in. Cheers. So we've gone for it, Francesinha. I completely said that wrong. We're going to avoid doing the classic TV thing, and they stick it in their mouth and go before even tasting it. We're going to get a bit of work.
Yes, perfect. So in this sweet.
I'd eat this with vinegar.
Yeah.
Cheese doesn't taste that strong. Definitely delicious. Definitely full of calories.
Oh, just one.
One
Oh yeah. Okay. Thank you.
when in Rome. No, funny. Good. Calm down, Nicky. Nicky-o! We found ourselves some shelter from the rain. Nice little market area here. We've got handmade sweet stores, little pizzeria, microbrewery it looks like, or might just sell the brews. Little fish stall,
Nicky O's just got us some coffees in. There's a lady on the TV, sunshine in the background. She's rubbing it in a little bit. There's definitely no sunshine out there at the minute. Shoppy's just been to check out the launch point for the boat. Yes, we're going on a party boat / river cruise in about an hour's time. Could be a washout, probably will be. Hopefully they got an indoor area on the boat. So until then we're just hunkering down. It's this little market, it's down by the river. Hiya. Hola. It's down by the river, friendly locals around here. It's a little bit sort of functional, tables lined out in straight rows. It's got a little bit of a local feel to it as well. And yeah, we're gonna have our coffees, chill out, dry off a little bit, so you can see even getting through the outdoor jackets, and then get ourselves on the party boat. I don't think Shoppy's got his hopes up that this is some kind of like Ibiza-esque like rave party scene. It's January in Northern Portugal, mate. What's happening, Nicky? Oh, you've been to the gym, have you? But we're not getting any hopes up for any sort of big massive party or anything on this boat. Mostly doing it just a little view of the river. You'll see the bridges. No!
Where's Steve? Ask him if they do do they do 0%?
So we made it. Party boat. Absolutely drenched. At least we've got a roof over our heads. So, yeah. I think we have a great flight. If you book this with someone stag do, you've been in trouble now, wouldn't you? Worst, best man ever. Gentlemen, are we talking? We're gonna disco lights on. Guys, second egg, cheese, meat, toasted sandwich of the day. When in Rome, act like a Roman. Starving, bit hotter than the last one, and a bit nicer, to be honest. So, happy days.
Just in case you're interested, Shoppy's also got the same thing, and it's delicious.
Not interested. Show me what Nicky's got.
Nicky O's got a salad, he's on a diet, he's looking good.
Coming out of my cage and I've been doing just fine. Gotta be down because I'm falling asleep. And she's calling the cat. While he's out in the smoke. And she's taking a drag. Gotta go in the back. And my stomach gets sick. I know something in my head. Cause she's touching his chest. Now he takes off her dress. Now letting me go. Just can't look, and it's scaring me. I'm taking control. Jealousy turns
He's sleeping off his hangover, and Nicky's considering a run for an hour for his training regime. I'm just doing a bit of video editing and chilling out in the penthouse suite. A good little deal here in my room. Ensuite, there's a big double bed. Those little ropey things on the banister for the stairs going down. Little desk that I'm absolutely not using apart from dumping my crap on and using the banisters to dry off all the clothes from the humping rain yesterday. Plan this morning is go and get some coffee and some to eat.
Bit of a washout again today, guys. Raining. So we had a little wander back into town. Coffee, breakfast. We're going to go to the bookstore. The queue was massive, so we've decided to skip that. We're going to take one of the little land train thingies for the sightseeing tour, which we probably will a bit later on. Got sucked into the bridge. We're already on it before we realised, so we're walking across the bridge, and we're going to there's a little park area just off to my right there. Can you see it? So we're going to head up to that high ground there. It's a nice little viewpoint, so we're going to go firm up there and have a little look around. We've done the party boat. Now we're on a party bus / train. Not quite. A lot of the music is quite loud. We're done with walking. The rain has eased off a little bit. We've plumped for a little train, land train, cart type thing, tour around the city and Gaia. And then the geezer, because we wanted to do the wine cellars, but they closed, so he couldn't offer us that. So he's chucked in the wine museum, I think. Could be wrong, could end up somewhere completely different. I think he's thrown in the wine museum for free. He's thrown something in for free, so we get something. And yeah, maybe a little bit of wine tasting. Up for that, Nicky? Yo! Up for that, shot,
I'm so excited.
Sweet. Some nice little quirky buildings around here, however, don't know where the health and safety executive stand on the building regulations of that bad boy. Questionable to say the least. I've seen sturdier looking structures in southern Afghanistan. Part of the culture though.
Porto por esta noite. Grande aplauso para aqui do Porto.
Summary debrief on Porto, the sandwich of Europe. That's definitely going to catch on. It's definitely a great place to visit. If you want a couple of days, few days for a city break, it's definitely enough to do. And maybe a bit longer if you're going to go out to the beaches, if it's better weather, or out to wine country. It had a French feel to it. To me, it's definitely got a very colonial presence to it because of its past. But with the small alleyways and lanes and a lot of bakeries, it definitely had that French feel. And I think the Portuguese language has got a bit of French in it as well. I mean, it makes sense because its proximity to southern France. There's a few words I noticed which sort of blend across the two languages. The food there is great. It's very tasty, but it's going to be very heavy as well. Bread, cheese, meat, a lot of calories, a lot of baked products. It's going to be quite heavy on you and calorie-wise, but it's delicious all the same. The coffee is good. You're not going to be disappointed. All the places we went, the cafes, the general standard of the coffee coming out was good. It's a compact city. It's not huge like a London or a Paris, and it's quite easy to navigate around. I didn't really see the fuss that people were making about the steep roads. It has got some steep ones, but it wasn't at any point I was like, I'm out of breath. Oh my God, there's another hill to walk out. Porto's inexpensive, but just like anywhere else,
You got to avoid the tourist traps. If you go into them, you're going to pay a little bit more, but even then it's not ridiculously high. But I definitely recommend going off the beaten track, trying to find a couple of places that you wouldn't normally find a lot of tourists. Book ahead. If you're going to be hitting up the bookstore or any popular attractions, definitely try and look them up beforehand online, and it's going to save you a bit of bother with queuing and maybe not getting in places. The nightlife, it's good. There's nothing crazy going on, so don't be expecting something wild. So if you're just looking for a nice moderate night out, it's got enough to keep you occupied. If you're looking for a cost-effective, short trip in Europe, then I'd suggest, after you've watched this video, maybe watch my next one. But at some point, get online. Skyscanner is the one I go to first of all, which generally comes up trumps. But if not, have a good look around. You might be subscribed to some other travel company. Get on there, get looking, and not just Porto. You're going to find trips, you're going to find deals, and that is my biggest advice to you, apart from pack early, pack twice. If you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly, be bold, start cold. There's going to be more of these coming out, don't you worry. The next advice I got for you is get online, get yourself a trip booked, couple of days, you know it makes sense. Do the party boat. Even if you're not up for partying, like we weren't, on a clear day, it's a great way to see the sights from the river, which a lot of people do anyway, and it's a bit of fun as well. It's light-hearted, a good spirit. There was no trouble, there's no aggro. Everyone was a bit sheepish when they first got on, even though it was raining. Everyone got into it. There's a bit of music, and it was fun. It's a different way to see the sights. And lastly, of course, don't let anyone bully you into what you're gonna do or you need to do when you go away. Set your own goals. All right, and tread your own path. But what I will say is, make sure you go and see the cathedral. And very lastly, don't forget to subscribe, guys. It's free, it's not going to harm you, and there's going to be a lot of these videos coming up. You want to stay ahead of the game, not fall behind on the gleaming golden advice you're going to be getting from the Lone Wolf. And remember, stay grizzly.